As you can see that I've got someone different next to me on the couch today. He's called Geoff Loveday, and Geoff Loveday is a master hypnotist. Now, if you don't know, I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, and I use a lot of hypnosis and hypnotherapy in my practice who are for single women who are looking for love. Because what I found is that a lot of single women who are unhappily single, who want to get into relationships, have some emotional blocks, which is why I use hypnosis, because it's an incredible, powerful tool that can release those emotional blocks. Hi, can we say hi? Thanks for joining us. That can release those emotional blocks.
Did someone just go on then?
Yeah, someone's on.
Hi everyone.
He's not used Facebook Live before,
No
so I'm educating him. Thanks for joining us. That can release those emotional blocks, and so they can go on to find love with their Mr. Right. My name's Andrea, and I'm called the Fearless Love Coach. And right now I'm in Liverpool. I'm in Geoff's office. You can see all these certificates at the back of the wall there. So, Geoff, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
Just briefly.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm getting into this now. So
he's going to love it. He loves being the star, so he's going to love this. Just can you tell people briefly about how long have you been a hypnotist for?
Well, going back a few years, my uncle was a hypnotist.
Yeah.
Also an engineer. He was a stage hypnotist. We're going back when I was about 20. And he taught me engineering, and he also taught me hypnosis. And so we're talking quite a few years, and I'm only 22.
Just a couple of years then.
Yeah, just a couple of years. Yeah.
And can you explain in the most simplest way what hypnosis is? I know there's lots of different theories out there of what hypnosis is, but what's your idea of what it is?
Okay, there have been many different theories, and they are theories. And hypnosis is a state of mind. We bypass the conscious mind. That's the conscious mind, the analytical side of your brain. To the subconscious mind, it's a critical factor, and selective thinking is established. The critical factor is a filter allowing information in and out. And
what does that mean? Selective thinking is established.
Okay, I could.
Oh God.
Okay, a man called Dave Ellman used to teach doctors, physicians, dentists, and surgeons to be able to take people into an operating room and do operation without any anaesthetic.
Wow.
And this was his theory, selective thinking. So you get a doctor sitting in a chair, and he would say, "In a moment," and all these doctors would circle him. And he wasn't a hypnotist; he was a doctor, and it was the late 60s, early 70s. And he would get a doctor sitting down. He said, "In a moment, I'm going to touch you on the forehead. Your eyes will close down, they'll lock tight, but you won't be able to open them." And so that was his theory, but it's a theory.
Hi Granville, thanks for joining us. What do you think of hypnosis? Have you ever used it before? It's very, very powerful tool. Granville's a yoga teacher.
A yoga teacher?
Yeah, he's amazing. And so, carry on.
Okay. So if I was to do it for you, I could turn around to you now and go, "In a moment, I'm going to touch you on the forehead."
You could, but it's not going to work.
Your eyes will close down and they'll lock tight, but you won't be able to open them. You fancy?
No.
But seriously, it does work.
It does, it's very powerful.
Extremely
The power
powerful.
of the mind. It's the power of the mind.
Yeah, quite amazing. Quite amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so what you believe, it's not, because what I've grown to understand, it's not what we're believing on a conscious level, because we believe that those are our thoughts, we believe our thoughts. It's what's going on a deep unconscious level that are the primary drivers. You know what it's like if, for example, you know, my big thing is chocolate. I'm always talking about chocolate. And if part of you knows that you shouldn't be eating chocolate, keep away from the chocolate, but you can't help yourself. That's the part that we go into in hypnosis. It's that, you know, when you feel compelled to do something, but you might not want to, but you find yourself acting out emotionally and it seems irrational. That's where hypnosis becomes really, really powerful. What do you think?
Very much so. A lot of the feelings that people feel aren't theirs. It's given by a time, a place, a situation.
Can you say a bit more about that?
Okay. Imagine you were reading a book, okay? You can laugh, you can cry, and you can be afraid. They're the three feelings, aren't they? But before you read the book, you never felt those feelings, did you? So when someone has issues or problems, sadness, guilt, blame, all these different things, they're not ours, they're given to us at time, a place, a situation. Even relationships.
Ah.
Even relationships.
What do you mean, even relationships?
Okay, so in the beginning when you meet someone, you've got the honeymoon period, haven't you?
Yes.
And can I mention things on,
you say,
okay.
well, go on.
Okay.
I don't know, I have no idea what he's going to say.
Honeymoon period is, in the beginning it's sex, isn't it? It's I love you, I love you, I love you.
Sexual attraction.
Yeah, of course it is. Then you go to that plateau period, don't you? Where the one person would say, I love you, and the other person would go, I know you do. And that person thinks, well, why didn't you tell me you love me? I've told you I love you. Why didn't you tell me? And so you've got a physical, emotional, emotional, physical. A physical, emotional is touchy feeling. I love you, and loves to hold hands. The emotional, physical is more distant, but shows love in different ways.
And that's what I found some of the biggest issues in relationships, certainly long-term committed, is that people are showing love, and I'm talking when two people are together and showing love, but they might be showing it in different ways, and the other person thinks, I'm not being loved.
Yes.
And it can cause the demise of that relationship because they can't see each other's like love story or love map. In everyone loves in their own particularly unique way.
Very much so.
So what has your experience been working with couples, for example, or single people around?
A lot of people have come to me, and for example, you get marriage counsellors. With hypnosis, it's completely different because we're actually working at a subconscious level. So when someone comes to me, they turn around and say, oh, my wife asked me to come because she feels the relationship. You need to see both of them. It's both of them because it's not just his problem, it's hers as well. It's both of them. They have to work together.
See, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But go on.
Okay. So let me think about this. You don't agree with it?
I don't agree that both of them necessarily have to work together because it depends on what the issue is.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, I'll give you an example. There was one in particular who came to see me. And isn't it amazing when we meet someone and we find that soulmate, we fall in love with them, don't we?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how we try to change them? How do we change their personality into what you feel is the right thing for them? But why change someone when you're in love with someone? And that's what happens. So with me, I actually take them back to the very beginning when they first met. They have to find that love that they had in the beginning and realise something about themselves, because things do change. By taking them back, they can see what they're going to lose, and they will lose it unless they sort the problem out. What do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Is that I think we can have an idea of who we think our soulmate is. That's the word that you use.
Because everyone's looking.
Everyone's looking, especially if you're single and don't want to be. And when that honeymoon period has ended, and you look up and you wake up in the morning and you think, is this the person that I got together with? They seem almost like an alien. And so we've got this idealised fantasy. And that can get in the way of reality, or think that reality is less than what you had before.
Here's a question for you. Do you feel as though when you meet someone, of course the sex is there anyway, and we know that. Is it best to be a friend first and to get to know that person, to be so that the connection is so strong and then the sex comes after? Or do we have the sex first and hope that the next part of your life is you'll get on with them, that you'll know them even more? What do you think about that?
I think I don't think there's one set rule.
You think it comes together?
I think it comes together when two people are right. I mean, what do you think, Granville? When two people are right for each other, I think it clicks into place. I can't say that there's a rule that they should be friends, or it shouldn't start with a sexual attraction. I can't say that.
No.
But for a long-lasting, committed relationship, there has to be a friendship.
Totally, because once the sex goes, there has to be something there.
Yes.
And that's important. Sometimes the kids hold relationships together, and then when they will grow and they say, well, I don't want to leave because of the kids, then all of a sudden you've got that hole, they feel trapped. And so when choosing, everyone searches, don't they? Even in relationships, I've found when they're together, they're always searching. Still searching. And that's a lot of the single women who come to see me. Even though they're with an amazing guy, a really incredible guy, they're still coming to me and saying, yeah, but
it's not this and it's just not that. And when they tell me what it is, it's really, really nothingness.
I'll tell you a story. This is a true story.
Yeah.
About this man and woman, and the woman eventually went with this man in the beginning and fell in love. The relationship ended, but she still loved him. He went to America. She met someone else, fell in love again, and got married. Over the years, 5 years, 10 years, all she was thinking about was this man. This man that she left, they finished and he went to America. That was in the conversation all the time. 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years went by.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden, her husband died. Her husband died, and she realised how much she misses her husband and how she's wasted her life thinking about this other person. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we don't appreciate what we have.
Lex is right, and you've got to look in front of you, haven't you?
Yes.
See what you have, not what you haven't got.
Yes, and going back to fantasising or romanticising about something else. It's always the grass is always green. In our fantasy world, it's always better, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
And we miss, and this is what I found out with single women, especially because it's single women who I work with.
Of course.
They struggle. They do. They can be with a really amazing guy and be unable to appreciate him, which is why I love working on this the deep unconscious level to find out why is that so important when everything else is there, the values are there. Hi Karen, how are you doing? Nice for you to join us.
Hi Karen.
Have you experienced hypnotherapy or hypnosis yourself? I'd love to hear about your experience. Because I certainly believe that hypnosis is much more powerful than traditional talking therapy.
It is quite.
It's a whole different,
I have worked on thousands of people. I know I've only been doing it 2 years, but I've worked on thousands of people, really have. And you can change their lives. It changes their lives. I mean, changes their lives. Unbelievable.
Yeah. If there's an issue that you found that you're stuck with, and no matter what you've tried, you can't seem to relieve it or alleviate it, then I would always think there's something much more deeply buried that the conscious mind can't get to. I mean, there's what's it in repressed memories?
There's two types of memories. You can have a disavowal when you put things in a box. We've all done that, haven't we? I don't want to talk about. Please, I don't want to talk. You don't know how I feel. I don't want to talk about that. And you've got a repressed emotion, which is something that's happened that. The subconscious mind, it was so devastating, it blocks it out. If I said, this happened to you, they'd go, no, it didn't. They deny it. And yet it's inside the subconscious mind blocked down. Yeah, absolutely. And it's so powerful. It overrides everything. It does, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
And you know when there's a block there. You know when there's a block there. When your behaviour seems like a little bit irrational.
Yeah. If you look at cause and effect, everything has a cause, everything has an effect. How can you explain that in a different way? Imagine you had a leak in the ceiling and I was to come with paint and paint the leak. Would it solve the leak? No, wouldn't, would it? It's amazing how many doctors give antidepressants out.
Oh, that's a whole different...
Oh my goodness. I don't even go there. Anyway, without realising what the problem is. So, okay, well, I have to find out where it came from, this leak. So we get someone in, they rip the floorboards and they find a pipe, it's rotten. They replace the pipe, seal it. Now we can paint it because there's no water coming through. Once you find the cause of anything, the effect goes. And that's with everything. That's with the mind. A solution. Everyone's looking for a solution of why.
The why, gosh.
The why.
Oh my gosh.
The big question is why? Do I feel this way?
Yes.
Yeah? And relationships are the same, though, aren't they? Why? Why do I feel this way? Why don't I feel the same as I was before? Maybe one of you is growing, and maybe the other one isn't.
Yes.
Yeah? Because we do grow. Some sit down, just don't do anything. And the others want life. And they see things, they read, and they want to do many, many things in their life. And there's the difference between the two. So.
I mean, the why as well. If you ask the why question, sometimes that can send you around in circles.
Oh my goodness, and that's at a conscious level, you don't know why.
On the conscious level, you don't know why.
But the subconscious mind knows. That's the difference. It knows.
Because, the philosophy that you ascribe to is that the subconscious mind knows absolutely everything about you. That's what,
everything.
Yeah.
everything. Even the first time you walk, first time you smile, first time you talk, it knows all. It's like a library of books inside the mind. A library of books where you can access through hypnosis. That's the amazing thing about it.
Yes.
Yeah,
you can get there's a doorway, isn't it? Like you're quiet in the conscious mind, and it's like this doorway opens, and you gain access to that deep subconscious and unconscious level.
Yeah, that's right.
And you discover things about yourself that you had no idea of. Absolutely. I mean, I've experienced it, obviously, and it's opened up my eyes in profound ways.
Yeah, totally.
And so you were talking about from a baby, but you've actually said as well, it can go back to being inside the mother's womb.
Oh, yeah, totally. It used to be third trimester. Let me explain something to you. I'm going to ask everyone here now. Do you believe that inherited emotions, like something from 3,000, maybe, let's say 200 years ago, can affect your life today?
Do you believe that? Do you believe that, Granville? That's something that happened, 200 years ago can affect you? What about you, Karen? Do you think that it can affect you today?
Or 400 years ago, that can affect your life today. Now, if you look at your family, your mum and dad, who you like? Are you like your mum, you like your dad? Have you got the same ears? Or does your mum turn around, God, your grandma, you got the same nose as your grandma? All these different things. It's amazing how your DNA is passed from your parents to you, isn't it? Same mannerisms.
Yeah.
What about your grandparents? Wouldn't the grandparents' DNA be passed from your mum and dad, from your grandparents, your mum and dad to you? Great-grandparents, great, and it goes on and on and on. It's called morphogenetics.
Morphogenetics.
Yeah. So inherited emotions can affect us in a very minute, but they can come to the surface. Like one day you can feel, I feel great, and the next minute you go, why do I feel this way? So it's passed on.
Yeah.
Passed on.
Yeah, definitely. And that can be. But when we talked earlier, it's about something like actually the baby inside the mother's womb.
Yes.
So, especially with little girls, as I've understood.
We go to inherited emotion.
Yeah.
The mother's feelings. That child will know the mother's feelings. I have taken people into the mum's womb, and they feel the emotions of the mother, of what is happening, the fear of raising a child, the fear of what's happened in the relationship between the husband and herself, whether it's a good relationship or a bad relationship, whether she wants to stay with him or leave. All these things are happening, and the child takes on board everything. Here's something. From the age of 0 to 7.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the most susceptible age. I mean, that's what I found. Without fail, every woman who's walked through my door, when there's been a particular issue that they can't resolve consciously.
What age did they go back to?
Before the age of 5.
Exactly.
Every single one before the age of 5, and you explain why.
So you have a conscious mind, your subconscious mind. There's a barrier called a critical factor filter. It allows information in and out. That's all. So what happens is, the conscious mind analyses, it judges, and the subconscious mind... I need to give you the question again, because it's gone out of my head.
He's gone out of his head, you see, his conscious mind.
What was the
question?
Can you
struggle to hold information?
This is what happens, see, I forget.
But it's about, I mentioned about, whenever there's been an emotional block, an issue, no matter how old you are, 30s, 40s, 60s, 70s, I've found from my experience, it's all gone back to before the age of 5. So I want you to explain why. What happens between 0 and 5?
When we're born, we're not given a manual to live our life. We're taught by people who've been here before us.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the subconscious mind. From the age of 0 to 3, and it really depends on the age, whether you go to nursery or don't go to nursery. Let's say you didn't go to nursery. So from the age of 0 to 3, the child's brought up by the mother, usually, not always, who protects, feeds and keeps the child safe. And keeps the child warm. During those 3 years, if everything's fine, inside the subconscious, it puts wonderful thoughts of happiness. So positive things go inside the subconscious mind. That's what you've got. He or she may see an argument with the family, with the mother and father, which the child doesn't like, and negative things go in. Round about, let's say, 0 to 4, 5, the child goes to primary school. I don't want to go to school. Yes, you do. You have to go to school. I don't want to go to school. I want to stay home with you. And there's tears. So negative things go in again. The child goes to school, sees good children, bad children. Maybe gets bullied, maybe not. But sees good teachers, bad teachers. So you've got all this going on. And around about 7 or 8 years of age, the subconscious mind is there, but then you've got a critical factor that comes up in your conscious mind. At the age of 0 to 7, there is no conscious mind. Sorry. no conscious mind, just the subconscious mind. After it goes above there, the conscious mind appears.
That's why babies and toddlers are so open, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They're just open. They're just
so
connected. They believe everything. They're so
everything.
Connected to life and nature.
That's right.
Yeah.
So at 7 years of age, there's no conscious mind, just a subconscious mind. Imagine this. This is easy for you. Imagine a bowl of water, okay? And imagine me getting a sponge, putting it in the water, okay? It would absorb all the clean water. Now imagine there's dirt, there's oil, there's grease, you name it, thrown into the water. If I throw that sponge in, it takes in everything, good or bad. And that's what the subconscious mind does. It doesn't care what it takes, whether it's good or bad. And that's why, because it's learning. Don't forget, it's a blank screen of your life, and it goes all inside the subconscious mind. So, sorry, go on.
Why do you think negative emotions are so powerful?
Well, they are, aren't they? It's easy to go down a hill than go up a hill, isn't it? Negative emotions, what we've got, certain things come out. Isn't it amazing how we don't look at what we have, we look at what we haven't got? Yeah. Yeah? Usually do that, don't we? So you've got these positive things about your life. Oh, I've got great parents, oh, great family, lovely children. My business is going great. Oh, but I've this feeling.
You get obsessed by that.
Oh my God. And what happens is, it's called reinforcement. The more you think of that feeling, it reinforces the first feeling. Then that feeling becomes stronger when you reinforce it again. Where attention goes, energy flows. So you reinforce it again, oh my God. And reinforce it again, oh my goodness. First, second, third, fourth, fifth emotion feels, oh my goodness, it feels worse than it was before. Because you're thinking about it all the time. That's why.
I think also we can get so hooked on negative emotions. I don't think we have much of a choice about it sometimes, but I think because we want to survive, our bodies are designed to survive, and if our bodies recognise something that's painful, that potentially could cause us pain, the body has to say, right, okay, I need to make you very alert and aware of this because we don't want to experience it again.
We go into this loop, don't we? It's this bubble, and we can't get out. That's the thing.
And that's what I love about hypnosis and hypnotherapy, because we can short circuit that loop.
Yeah, you can. You can. You can do amazing, amazing things with it. Well, there's no medication. You see, Andrea asked me about whether or not talking and counselling works. It does. But by working with the subconscious mind, you put the conscious mind out of the way. And so it can't interfere. And by doing that, you find amazing things happen. And it does, really. Yeah, because like you said before, consciously you might not know what the answers is. So even if you're having a talking therapy and they're asking you why is this? Hi Caroline, thanks you for joining. Hi Caroline.
If they've asked you in that type of context, where's this come from, or why do you think this is happening? Consciously, you might not have the answers, so you end up literally going around and around in circles and not resolving the core issue. And that's what I'm more interested in.
That's what you do, isn't it?
Resolving, and so is Geoff, the core issues. So it stops being an issue and not going around in endless circles.
That's right. Yeah. And you've had, when you've worked on people, good results with it. Amazing
oh my
results.
God, incredible.
Amazing results.
Incredible. So many have had traditional talking therapies and they're angry and upset because they said, I've done this, I've done that, I've gone to that event, this workshop, and I'm still in the same place.
But not all hypnotherapy is the same, is it? It's not
that's true. That's
you have suggestion therapy. I work with regression, so I'll regress them back to times in their life, or even past life. I've worked with past life as well. Whether we believe it or we don't believe it, it's quite amazing that as well. But yeah. Yeah,
I think child regression, which is what I do also, is just so, like you just mentioned before, about how we are as babies, and certainly up until the age of 5, how much we absorb from our parents, who are gods to us. That's our life depends on them, and so.
Yeah, you're totally right. And, it can lead to so many different things. Well, problems. And if we look at relationship with parents, they see it as a child. And then all of a sudden they take it on board like a book, and they feel, I don't want to be like I don't want to be like my mum. I don't want to be like my dad. And the relationship they bring it. They choose the same person. Yeah. Like the father or the mother.
Or the mother. Yeah. If you're one of those people, women or men, that you find that no matter what that person looks like, there's something familiar about them. and you're repeating the same pattern over and over and over again. And typically it's because there's a decision that you've made, certainly from before the age of 5, about your idea of love. And your idea of love and your concept of love has been formed from a very, very early age. And as you get older, you'll find yourself particularly attracted to a certain type. And that type, I can pretty much guarantee, has some familiarity about it. Either you've made a decision, I will never want that type of relationship again, learnt from your parents, or there's something about your mother or your father that you really liked and therefore find attractive as an adult. And if there's any issues that you haven't resolved from when you were younger, I guarantee you'll be playing those out as an adult. And you'll find partners to play out those games for you to work things out. And I know some of you will get together, some of you women will get together with guys and that relationship will never work out. Why? Because it wasn't meant to. It was there for you to work something out about you. And if you don't, you end up repeating the same thing again with another guy and it's a nightmare. And I want to get you off that roller coaster nightmare if you want to find Mr. Right. And so you say you deal with child regression and past lives. You must have seen some incredible things.
I'm trying to think of one now. There was a lady, and she'd had a rough life. She was being with 3 relationships, 3 children. Many times she thought about committing suicide, but she wouldn't because of her children. And I take her back to her past life, and she has everything. Oh my goodness, silk, gardens, people cutting the roses. This is in hypnosis. And she's this person. I think she was Denmark, or I'm not too sure of the country. And she had everything. And she said her persona changed. Her body went straight, perfect. And she said, I have a beautiful daughter. I have everything. I have people cutting the roses, acres of land. See this house, it's mine. I have a child. She's only 2 weeks old. The next second, she walks up the stairs and she jumps off the top building, kills herself. Now, in that life, let me go back a bit. She didn't do it for that. What happened was, she loved her husband, and her husband had died in the war. They were young, and she missed him so much. And she decided, I didn't know what was going to happen, she just went up there and threw herself off. In that life, you're supposed to take only the good in and leave the bad. In this life, she felt as though she didn't want to live, but she wouldn't leave her children because she left a child. It wasn't the husband, it was the child she'd left that she felt regret. And so she would never leave her children. So it was quite amazing what happened in there, and it changed her. It changed her completely.
Well, once she understood why she felt the way she did.
Yeah, it just went. She realised there's no way that she'd got children.
So, Master Hypnotist Geoff Loveday.
Thank you.
You've had this practice for quite a few years. We won't mention how many years.
Quite a few
and you're
years.
very experienced with. Hi, Roger. Thank you for joining us today. You're very experienced. You've worked with, depression, people suicidal, addiction to drugs.
Everything. I work with drugs, phobias. I teach doctors hypnosis. I teach teachers hypnosis for children. So it's very, very powerful.
Incredibly
it is
powerful.
Really powerful. There's no question. A lot of hypnotists believe that a trance, a low trance, which is a weak trance, is okay. I believe you have to get the person to a very, 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 very deep trance. But that's me. That's my opinion. But opinion.
I mean, that's what I do as well. Getting a very, very deep trance.
So the subconscious mind can't.
Interfere.
Yeah. But you can work with so many different problems. Pain.
Fibromyalgia, I think you've worked with. And you've worked with,
everything.
Yeah.
You name it, I've worked with it.
Yeah. So for people who want to come to see you, you're based in Liverpool.
I'm based in Liverpool.
Yeah.
My practice is www.liverpoolhypnosis.co.uk. There's testimonials on Google under Geoffrey Loveday, or if you click Liverpool Hypnosis, it will come up. I also train, and my training site is hypnosisinternationaltraining.com. I also do kinesiology, but that's a different thing as well, isn't it? So yeah.
So if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
My phone number is 07876 028957. I'll repeat that again.
I'll put it in
you
the
put
notes.
it in? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You put it down.
Modern technology, Geoff.
Wow. I'm wondering whether anyone wants to see you being hypnotised.
Should I allow him to hypnotise me live on Facebook? No! I go deep, I go really deep. And
yes, she does. I bet she goes really deep.
Yeah, I never know what's going to happen.
Well, that's true as well.
So if you're looking to work with a hypnotherapist, and I can't recommend Geoff more highly. I honestly can't, in terms of the passion and the compassion, and someone who's just really present with you and listens to you and allows you to go deep and resolve issues. Absolutely second to none. If you want to see a hypnotherapist and you're close to Liverpool, this is your guy.
Oh, thank you for that.
No question.
I feel embarrassed now. But you say more if you want.
He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah,
really, if there's any issues that you've struggled with, perhaps you've had traditional talking therapy, you've been to workshops, you've been to seminars, you've read books, you watch YouTube videos, you know what I'm talking about. You've tried everything and still it's not working. I would strongly suggest a hypnotherapist, but I would recommend Geoff, of course, because not all hypnotherapists, not everyone is equal. I know what he does is really very, very powerful, very powerful. And so the first session is free.
Free, yeah, first session free.
And the first session
and
is free.
talk, we chat, and I'm looking for a root cause in the beginning to find out the problem, the main issue, and we'll get you well, I promise.
Yeah, deal with the root cause, and it resolves the issue. Not going around in circles, not trying to figure it out, but going to the actual root cause, and that's how powerful hypnosis is. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Andrea, the Fearless Love Coach, and I show strong, sassy, successful single women to attract and keep their Mr. Right. It's not just about getting a guy, but it's about keeping a long-term, meaningful, committed, loving relationship. And Geoff Loveday is a master hypnotist. Who's just amazing and incredible.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for joining us on Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.